Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Force here, and today we'll be checking out Anomaly 2. This is a top-down RTS tower offense game. It's the sequel to Anomaly Warzone Earth, and it was developed by 11-Bit Studios. Now I actually first took a look at this game about a month ago, and I showed you guys some gameplay footage from a preview build in which I was able to take a look at some of the early levels in the campaign. Well, the game has officially launched now, and so I thought we would revisit the final build, and I would give you some of my initial thoughts and impressions. So once again, let's start off by talking about what is Anomaly 2. It's a top-down tower offense game that also has RTS elements. So unlike tower defense games, you're actually commanding the invading waves of troops and trying to make your way through the towers to the end goal, basically the finish line, if you will. Now there's all sorts of story elements that are mixed into this as well, and you're trying to complete various objectives. The general storyline behind Anomaly 2 is that Earth has been invaded by these machines, and you're trying to eliminate them or wipe them off the Earth so that humanity can go on. So let's focus on the gameplay here. I'll be showing you some gameplay and again giving you my initial thoughts and impressions. Now what we're actually taking a look at here, this is the planning phase, and in this you're able to not only plan the route for your troops to move, so you're able to decide, hey, where do they want to go, what direction do you want to go at each intersection, etc., etc. But you're also able to see the time that it takes to get from one point to the other, and you're also able to see all of the upcoming towers. Now, I know what these towers are, I know what they do. At this point, it's probably a little bit confusing to you, you're just seeing all sorts of different shapes, but all you need to know is that all of these red structures, these are towers. These little white pickups here, these are currency that allow me to purchase more troops or upgrade the troops that I have. And then this is our first checkpoint. So once we get there, we've reached a checkpoint, and if we die, that's where we would go back to. So this is the entirety of the upcoming level here. It's actually fairly lengthy, and that's the reason I decided to show this one to you guys, hopefully giving you a good idea of what this game is all about. There's also a multiplayer component. I don't think we're going to take a look at it. It seems somewhat lackluster, and I don't believe a lot of people have been playing it, but I'll sort of explain to you what that is as well. So we're going to start off with this initial route here. It's a rather basic route, and then I'm also going to purchase some troops. This is actually the very beginning of one of the middle of the game levels. We're at level 9 or 10, I believe, right now. So we've just been introduced to new troops here in this level. These are known as the heavy supports. They're really good frontline troops that have a lot of armor and they can take a lot of damage. They're not as offensively focused, but they're able to absorb some hits. Now, right behind them, we're going to purchase a guard, and we can use him as a shield to cover shields around our troops that are right in front and right behind him. We're going to pick up a couple of hammers. These are long-range, heavy damage dealers, and then we're going to pick up the hound, which is sort of the basic troop there, and that will make up our entire row of 6 troops. And so far, throughout the course of the game, I've played my way through about 2/3 of the game so far. I haven't noticed anything more than 6. It seems like this is the cap for the single player, unless you get more later on that I just don't know of yet. Okay, so we've got a route planned. We have got all of our troops. Now I could actually upgrade one of them because I've got enough leftover currency to do so, so we're going to grab an upgrade here. So you're able to, again, use your currency. This is what we started the level off with, to either purchase new troops, or I could have gone with a smaller platoon, but have more upgrades on them. I'm going to go with a full group of 6, though. I just want to show you as much variety as possible for the troops that I currently have access to here. All right, so the planning phase is done. We have got our row of our troops all set, so let's go ahead and go into the gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in right here, and I'm able to go back and forth with a middle mouse wheel, zooming in and out, bouncing between planning phase and the actual action. Now, as my troops move forward, a couple of things you're going to notice. First of all, I'm going to double click on this guy to transform him into a second mode, and that second mode is what gives shields to the front 2 and back 2 troops that are right in front and right behind him. And every single type of vehicle in this game, it has 2 different modes. So for example, these guys right here, they're long range, heavy damage dealing. However, I can change it so that they're more of a short range and they attack more frequently. Also, with their long range mode, they only actually fire directly in front of them. So if you've got troops behind you that you want to hit, you're going to want to change the form for these guys. Alright, so we're going to just move forward and continue to take out these towers. These towers right here are basic ones. These towers right here, you need to attack them with slow rate of fire attacks, because if you attack them with a high rate of fire attack, it's going to transform into this big monstrous beast that basically destroys your guys fairly quickly. Okay, so we've made it around there. Pretty simple stuff, as you saw. Didn't really take much interaction on my part. However, there is a heavy interaction portion of this game. If you notice on the left-hand side, we get a few different abilities, if you will, and we're actually going to switch this up here so that they go down this row now and take care of those towers. So we've got a few different abilities. Now, this guy is our commander, and we're able to move him on the battlefield and use him to place down these abilities. So these abilities include a heal, a distracting attack, an EMP to disable a tower until it gets to attack, and then a direct target firing ability as well, which basically commands my guys to only hit a single target. So I'm going to hit 2 here, and that's going to drop down my distracting fire, and then you'll notice all of a sudden these towers are attacking that, and they're not focusing on my troops. So that is the purpose behind that there. And these are all these power-ups that are dropping off of towers that we've killed that I'm picking up here with my commander. Okay, so we've taken care of that. We've picked up a bit of currency, so I can now hit spacebar to bring up my troop menu, if you will, and I can use some of that currency to get another upgrade. We're going to upgrade these guys, and I will morph them back. So I can morph them 2 ways. You can morph them either by double-clicking, like this, or you can morph them by going to that menu and just clicking on morph. And yes, there we go. And I don't want them to continue to go around. I don't know why I did that. So we're going to switch this up here and have them move in this direction in just 1 moment. And would I want to go back there? No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so they've got this base rate of speed here. It's relatively slow. You can speed it up either by clicking on this down here, or easier is to hit left shift, and then that's going to speed up the process. Your character will also run faster as well. This is to get past sections like this, where if you send your troops in the wrong direction and there's nothing for them to fight and you want them to move quickly. You can also have them go quickly through combat. However, that can be really dangerous at times, because if you move quickly through combat, it's harder for you to respond and lay down a heal like this right here. So I can lay down a heal 2 ways. I can either move my commander to a location and press 1, 2, 3, or 4 to lay down one of those abilities, or you can right-click on the ground, which will pause the game momentarily and then decide what you want to go where. Now, I'm sure you can tell by the way this looks. Actually, I need to quickly switch things up here. So what we're moving through right now, these are dormant towers, these little things that look sort of like, I guess, ninja stars, if you will. These are dormant towers that when they become activated, they do tremendous damage, and they've got this little shield buster that will break through any shields that you have. So for that reason, it doesn't really make sense to have shields. So we're going to change this guy from his shield form into his alternate form, which gives him an attack that slows down the rate of fire of an enemy tower. So we no longer have shields, but we're able to slow down the rate of fire so that they're not doing damage nearly as quickly. Another thing we can do against these guys is lay down some distracting fires, so that once these towers do pop, they're not targeting our guys here. And we actually ended up losing 1 guy there, I believe. Yeah, we're down to just the 5 here, unfortunately. So that's just me not paying attention. Now this back tower back over here, you're going to notice that little yellow circle around his health thing. That is his rate of fire. This particular troop, what's going to happen with him is he starts off attacking really slow, but after he's been attacking for a certain duration, he goes and he gets a crazy fast attack speed. So I've been using him at the back. I think he's oh, we want to switch that right there. Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, so they're going to engage with those guys. We got these guys over here. I'll take those out. And everything seems to be going pretty well. I will just quickly actually back up, and I would like to purchase another troop, because we did end up losing a troop. I was sort of too focused on explaining things and not focused on the combat, so we're going to switch that up there. Wonderful, wonderful. So we've got all these different troops. As I've been progressing through the game, I've been continuously unlocking new ones. In fact, just this very level is when we were first introduced to these frontline guys here, which once again are very good. They don't have the greatest attack capabilities, but they're very, very good at absorbing damage. All right, so we've made our way through most of those guys that blow up and get rid of your shields, so I can go ahead and switch him back now to go ahead and give shields to the 2 in front and the 2 behind him, just like that. And then we're going to come up to this thing, which is just going to take a couple of shots until it's finished off. Now, you notice my commander, he does get hit, and if he goes down like that, you just go down for a few seconds, and then you're just right back up. So it's really not that huge of a deal if you happen to get taken out of combat. Okay. Okay, so we're going in this direction, and I probably want to wrap it back around over here. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And we're just going to speed things up here because we can. So it's an interesting take on the tower style of gameplay, again, playing on the offensive portion as opposed to the defensive portion. The multiplayer in this game, it has defense as well. It's basically one player, it's a 1v1 mode. One player plays the tower offense mode, and one player plays the tower defense mode, where they're actually setting down the towers, trying to stop the other player from getting through. It sounds fairly interesting. Unfortunately, every time I've tried to play it, no one's been on. So it seems like the multiplayer right now is very lacking for that reason. There's just not much of a scene. Again, it's a great concept, but it just seems like the player base isn't there for that, at least not at the moment. I'm assuming most people who pick up this game are primarily going to be focused on playing the single player, so that's probably the reason behind that there. Alright, so we're going to lay down our heal. A couple things that I haven't really used so far that I would like to just to show you guys is the EMP plus the targeted fire. So the targeted fire is good in certain areas. For example, this tower right here, he does heavy damage in a T, so to the left and right and then straight in a row. So if you were coming up to him and there were some base towers, which are relatively easy to deal with and not as much of a threat, you would want to put down the target fire right on top of him to take him out first, to make sure everyone's focusing on him. In fact, we can do that very thing here if we go around like this, and I'd like to take a safer route this way first, and then we'll go up and around like that. I think that sounds like a great idea. Okay, so what I will do is we're going to put these guys to their long range here, and then we're going to go ahead and let me use the right click method of doing things to put a attack right there so that they focus on that. Also going to place down an EMP right here, which will disable these towers until they get hit. So they're going to be disabled until something attacks them. And then now that they've been attacked, they're going to go ahead and turn around just like that. All right, wonderful, wonderful. You know, I think this game's pretty fun. It seems like it's a little short, but it's also a smaller price title. So what I mean by that is I'm currently on level 11 out of 15, and it's only taken me about 3.5 hours to do that. So we're gonna add maybe another couple of hours. Oh, I need to switch this because we're going through the shield blowing ups right now. So we'll switch that over here. One of these guys might emerge. There we go. So they don't always emerge, but when they do, they can do massive damage. And having the shield up is pointless because whenever they blow up, they just disintegrate it essentially. We're gonna switch these over, drop down a heal because they've taken some damage. We've made it through there, so we can switch our shields back on now. Just like that. Wonderful, wonderful. So we're just making our way through. This is easier for me because I've done this already, so I sort of know what to expect from this level. So that's why it's not as much of a threat. But definitely when you first go through and stuff, it definitely takes some thinking as to what you're gonna do. The type of towers that you're up against really determines how you're going to engage. And what you will have your individual troops doing, the specific attack mode that they're in. So the secondary attack mode for this last guy right here, his primary attack mode allows him to shoot from this basic gun. Again, it's one of those things that the attack speed ever increases as he continues to attack. Now that is the same case for his secondary fire, but his secondary fire, he actually turns into this like little mech that's got flamethrowers on either side, the left and the right, and that's really good for when you've got towers on either side of you. It's really good to use that mode there. So we're going to speed things up here, make our way over here. Let me try to explain to you a little bit about these various towers. So we're going to quickly pause here, or rather go in this mode. Oh, you know what? That's blocked. So this right here, he absorbs shots before he actually takes any damage. So it's really good to hit him with a fast attack rate guy. So what I could do in this sort of situation is I could actually switch their order. And I haven't done this yet, but yes, you're able to essentially at any time switch the order of your troops. And I could put this guy right here. And we can put these guys into their distance mode. Okay, so this guy, because he's got a high rate of fire as he ramps up, he is best suited for this particular type of tower. So we're able to put him up at the front, and that's a perfect example of how you would use that. I'm also gonna put the target fire down here and here. So hopefully they ignore that guy. Oh no, that's not gonna happen there. We're gonna put the distracting fire, because this tower is really slow attacking and moving, but it does some significant damage. And actually, I sort of wanted to wrap back around there first, but it looks like that's not going to happen. That's fine. Worse things have happened. Looks like our guys will be fine. We also have a ton of currency right now, so what I could do, actually, is we could go for, let me do an EMP here, a distracting fire down here, and we could go for some upgrades as well. Definitely plenty of room for some upgrades here. So once we take down this last tower, we will go ahead and do that. There you go. Wonderful. Okay. And now that we've made our way through that particular type of tower, oh no, I'm not going to be able to go back to that last tower. It's not a huge deal. You just, you know, for every tower you kill, you get a little more currency, so it's nice to get them all. It's not necessary. You can actually kind of sort of beeline it to the finish line in this game, and that's perfectly acceptable as well. But, you know, I would have liked to get that. So anyways, point is, though, let's go ahead and get this last tower. And then we can get some upgrades. So I'd like to get everyone to at least one. Actually, we're not going to be able to afford that. So I like these long-range towers to be upgraded, and I guess yeah, I guess that'll be fine actually, and we can go ahead and switch their order. Now, when I first started playing this game, almost every single engagement I was switching the order of the troops. Sometimes it's necessary, most times it's not. So I've sort of relaxed on that, and that's probably also part of the reason why the game's taking me much less time than it did in the past. My first playthrough, so when I had the preview build of this game, which consisted of the first 6 missions, that took me like 2 hours by itself, but playing through them again, I guess it also helps that I knew what to do. When I played through them a second time, I burned through it in less than an hour. I think it took me 45 minutes for the first like 6 or 7 missions. So I think that's partially due to the fact that I knew what to do and how to play and what the levels consist of. But I think it's also due to the fact that I just stopped. Literally every fight I would be like, okay, who should go first? This guy go first? Okay, the next fight that guy will go first, and I'd constantly be switching their order. Now it doesn't take a lot of time. It's instant. You know, you do this, you go back, and that happens. But just the notion of just sitting there and thinking about it and taking the time to consider what should I do, that took up time, and I sort of found it, like I said, to be unnecessary. It's not really required. Okay, so we got little story bits here, stuff happening with our commander. He was supposed to go investigate this stuff down here, and then, oh no, he's trapped. And what's going to happen is we're going to have to actually try to make it through these lasers, and the only way we can do that, unfortunately enough, morph into heavy support. So we finally have the morph for these guys, and what it does is it now calls these drones, which will increase the effectiveness of my abilities. So these drones get summoned, they go directly to the commander, and when you place down an ability, so right here we're supposed to use my EMP, it increases the effectiveness, and the EMP range increases. So you'll notice it starts off with the normal EMP range, and then it grows to the increased EMP range, and one of the drones disappear. So that's a really cool secondary function. It's obviously, its primary role of absorbing damage isn't filled when you're doing the drone call. But it's a great way if you want to EMP in a large radius or any of your abilities. It increases the radius of anything. So let me just show you here. I've got a bunch of these, so let me drop this down. Base range, increased range. There you go, just like that. And I think it might increase the duration. It makes it more effective. Maybe, oh boy, I'm supposed to go down here. Uh-oh. Shoot, 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 shoot. Okay, there we go, wonderful. Almost got my troops destroyed there by those lasers because I wasn't even paying attention. So yeah, I'm supposed to just EMP all this stuff here. And I think that about does it. This last guy here, wonderful. And there you go. We'll speed things up, make our way through to the next section. So I like this game. I think it's neat. It's a fun little twist on tower defense, taking this strategy slash offensive element to it. That sort of an approach. It's a nice mix up to it, and I don't know, it's fun. Like I've been having fun playing this. I'm a little bummed out that the multiplayer scene is lackluster. At least it seems that way so far, based on my experience. It would have been nice. I'm gonna switch these guys back to the other mode. As cool as having these drones are, I think having guys who can absorb a ton of damage up front is better. So. And we will drop an EMP here. And also drop one over here as well. Okay, so these guys will come along, take care of business, just like that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, but I like this game. I think it is pretty darn neat. It's a fun game. It seems somewhat short, like I said, but that could mostly be due to the fact that I've played this game in the past, and so that's why I've made it through 2/3 of the map, 2/3 of the game, and it's only taken me 3.5 hours. That could, again, be a bigger part of the reason for that, so something to consider at least. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching me. Once again, this has been Force. Oh no, oh man, I lost it. This has been Force checking out Anomaly 2. It's available for the PC, Mac, and Linux. You can pick it up on Steam. It's fully priced at $14.99. However, a 10% discount is currently taking place, in which you can get it for $13.49. Save yourself a little bit of money if this is a game that you're interested in. I like it. I think it's pretty good. I definitely don't think it's that bad. I do quite enjoy it, so thank you very much. And let me just actually, why don't we just go ahead and hop out here quickly so I can show you. I would just like to go to the main menu just to show you something about the multiplayer real quick. I just want to show you, so the multiplayer, the way it works is it's, again, tower offense versus tower defense, and there's 4 maps available. You have to unlock them as you progress through, and I guess there's only really one game mode, which is just, it's a 1v1 situation where one player plays the offensive role, which is sort of how the single player works, and then one player sets down the towers and plays in the defensive role. And that is that. All right, guys, well, I guess that does it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.